Is there a hotter player anywhere in Europe right now than Erling Haaland? The guy just cannot stop scoring. In the 10 official matches he has played for Man City since joining them in the summer, he has already scored 14 goals. Everybody says the Premier League is the toughest league to play in, but this lad is making it look too easy, breaking records and winning prizes with every touch of the ball. Just in case you live under a rock, the 22-year-old joined Manchester City from Dortmund in May after the Premier League club triggered his €60 million release clause. By the way, seeing the wonders he is performing for his new club, Dortmund are probably wishing they had set his buyout clause at a much higher price. Anyway, Haaland officially joined City on the 1st of July and his first appearance for the club was in a pre-season friendly against Bayern Munich later that month. He scored his first goal for the club in that game and it was enough to hand City the win. But then, it was only a pre-season friendly, the doubters said. The doubters also said that TT would be a totally different ball game when the season resumes proper. Days later, he was named in the starting 11 for City's first official game of the season, the FA Community Shield final against Liverpool. It was a good matchup early in the season. Apart from the fierce rivalry that exists between the two clubs, we were also ready to see how the two new strikers would perform in their first real test. Darwin Núñez came off the bench to win a penalty and then score a goal to help Liverpool win the game and the title, while his opposite number, Erling Haaland, played a full 90 minutes for Man City but failed to score or even assist. He in fact, even missed a clear-cut chance. As you would expect, the doubters had a lot to say after that match. The Premier League will expose him. City have wasted money on yet another player. He will flop. But it did not take long for the Norwegian beast to silence them, and, as it would appear, silence them for good. In his first Premier League game, which was away at West Ham, he won a penalty, converted it, and then scored another goal to give Man City their first win of the season and kick-start life in the English top flight with a Man of the Match award. The next game was against Bournemouth, and even though City won 4-0, Haaland was not on the scoresheet, managing only to set up the first goal for Gundogan. At this point, he still looked human. 2 goals in 2 appearances, normal. In his third game, he continued to look human, scoring just 1 goal as City came back to draw against Newcastle. 3 in 3, very normal. But the next game against Crystal Palace was when Haaland finally decided to unleash the beast within. The game was at the Etihad, so he decided to give the home fans a show. Mind you, City failed to win or even score a goal against Crystal Palace all through last season. And by half-time of this very fixture, they were 2 already goals down. It looked like the trend was going to continue, but Haaland had other ideas. Bernardo Silva started the party for City, but Haaland took over from him and went all night. He completed his first ever Premier League hat-trick in just 19 minutes to ensure that City not only won that game, but won it comfortably. His first goal at the Etihad came with 2 bonuses, and that day, he went home with the match ball and yet another Man of the Match award. You would have thought we would have had to wait a little while to see such a performance from the young man again, but just 4 days later, he decided to bless us with an encore. Since he gave the fans at the Etihad a second-half hat-trick against Palace, he decided to then give them a first-half hat-trick against Nottingham Forest. By the 38th minute, he had already completed his treble, and that earned him the match ball and yet another Man of the Match award, his third in just his first month in the league. That made it 6 goals in the space of just 4 days and 9 goals in his first month in the Premier League. Those 2 hat-tricks in his first 5 games made him the fastest player to score 2 hat-tricks in the history of the Premier League. Those 9 goals made him the player with the second highest scoring month in the history of the Premier League behind only Luis Suarez. And this was just his first month. Before moving on, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, let us know in the comments which player we should focus on in our next video. With all he did, it was not surprising at all when he emerged winner of yet another award. This time, he was named Premier League Player of the Month for August, becoming the first ever Norwegian to win that prize. But he wasn't even done with the records and the prizes yet. He started the month of September away at Aston Villa and scored yet again to take his goal tally up to 10 in just 6 Premier League games. With that number, he matched the record for best ever start to a Premier League career. He was having it too easy in the league, so we all eagerly anticipated his performance in his first Champions League game for City. They went away to Sevilla and what did Haaland do? He scored 2 goals to help the Premier League champions to an emphatic win to open the European season. Those 2 goals were his 24th and 25th in the Champions League, and he became both the youngest and the quickest player to reach 25 goals in Champions League history. With that performance, many fans were surprised he wasn't named man of the match. Anyway, with the game against Spurs postponed, City's next game came in the Champions League again, a big fixture for Haaland. He was going against his old club, Borussia Dortmund, for the first time. It was surely personal for him. And for a large portion of the game, it felt like he was going to bow to the gravity of the fixture and blank. But with just 6 minutes to go, he rose. Literally, the former Dortmund man soared acrobatically to get to the end of a beautiful cross Cancelo had put in the box and scored an early contender for the Puskas Award. But in spite of how insane that goal was, he didn't lose his head. He still remembered to pay his respects to his former club by refusing to celebrate that wonder of a goal. Up to this point, every goal Haaland had scored for City was scored from inside the 18-yard box. So, some rival fans started to call him a tap-in merchant. Of course, with the numbers he has been putting up, he actually does not need to prove anything to anyone, but he still decided to anyway, just because he can. In the last game before the international break, City went away to Wolves, and in the 16th minute, Haaland scored his first goal from outside the box for his new club. Now, what else is left to say? With 11 goals already in his first 7 Premier League games and 3 in his first 2 Champions League games for Man City, fans and pundits are already looking beyond the now. They are looking out how many more records he will break and how many more awards he will sweep by the time his first season in England is over. In just his first month, he won 3 Man of the Match awards, the most in the league at the moment, 1 Player of the Month award, and broke a few records along the way. Already, everyone expects that he'll win the Premier League Golden Boot at the end of the season and probably even take the European Golden Shoe along with it. But the question is, how will he do it? Will he score 31 plus to break the record for most goals scored in a debut Premier League season? Will he score 33 plus to break the record for most goals scored in a single 38-game Premier League season? Will he score 35 plus to just break the record for most goals scored in a single Premier League season outright? Will he score 18 plus in the Champions League to break the record for most goals scored in a single Champions League season? At this rate, we actually think he has what it takes to go on and smash every single one of those records and more. But we want to hear from you. Go in the comments and tell us how many more records you think Haaland will break and how many more awards he will win this season. We'll see you in the next video. That's all from Hattrick for now.